Bigly.
Yeah, I don't do email. I don't go on the fucking internet. I don't have a TV. I'm not into that.
He's a Manchurian candidate.
They want to take away their guns down there in Brazil. 100%.
Y'all doing me dirty.
He fucked it up bigly.
Yeah, I don't do
He
email.
fucked it up
I don't go on
bigly.
the fucking internet. Yeah, I don't do email. I don't go on the
He's a
fucking
Manchurian
internet. I don't have a TV.
candidate.
I'm not into that.
He's a Manchurian candidate.
They want to take away their guns down there in Brazil. 100%.
Y'all doing me dirty.
He fucked it up bigly.
Yeah, I don't do
He
email.
fucked it up
I don't go
bigly.
on the fucking internet. Yeah, I don't do email. I don't go on the
He's a
fucking
Manchurian
internet. I don't have a TV.
candidate.
I'm not into that.
He's a Manchurian candidate.
They want to take away their guns down there in Brazil. 100%.
Y'all doing me dirty.
He fucked it up bigly.
Yeah, I don't do
He
email.
fucked it up
I don't go on
bigly.
the fucking internet. Yeah,
All I seen in there last night was just a bunch of dudes being dudes.
He could fix the bong hit station. He could fix everything.
I'm going off of a stoner's memory from get fucking
Tip
blasted.
it into what?
The United States of America's Congress should be solely focused on our problems.
We ride.
Beating people for dancing?
Okay. That's enough beating people for dancing. We're drawing the line there. It's enough. Dude, I hit play and I realized I was in an advanced state of dehydration going into this. I was like, I didn't get a workout. Then I discovered the audio loop that I had. And I was like, those tabs I lost right before we started, I found them. Started making a bunch of noise. So it was like, brrr, brrr, brrr. I think we cussed like 140 times. In an R-rated movie, you can only drop the F-bomb once. The second time you get an R rating. So sometimes in the opening scenes of a movie, they'll go, fuck, and then just like gang signs and then move on. Like give me the R.
Yep. Let you know what you're getting into. Wave
Exactly.
power.
We're just gonna like hang it all out there. No big deal. No big deal. How have you
Welcome
been,
to
brother?
The land of many colors.
Absolutely.
How I been?
Have you been,
Ah,
man?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good, all things considered.
All
you
things
know?
considered. Let's consider all things.
Considering all things, some days have their ups and their downs, but
Yeah.
we're measuring things in years and tens of.
Yes, that's right. Careers and years.
Careers and years.
Careers and years. Years of
we're-
careers.
We're part of a society, part of a civilization that's
A civilization.
doing big things and solving massive problems that we're gonna bang our heads against the wall for years. So
Years and years. No stopping
years
it.
and years and years, and so we're solving
It's a marathon, not a
100-year
sprint.
problems at the end of the day, and making improvements on systems that are that old.
Yeah. to piss off Eric Weinstein, he talk about generational ships going between stars, and he's like loses his shit. I heard him lose his shit on several podcasts this week, being like, "No one's gonna hang out with each other for 10,000 years. Trust me." like there's like it's not gonna work out. Like my people have been around for some time. It's not gonna happen. Like you need the outlet to be, but yeah, to be on like an intergenerational starship traveling between the stars, you'd have to make choices for the long haul. Have you been?
Right.
I
Well,
would not
that's
expect.
a whole different environment instead of drivers and incentives. Like needs and wants are different.
Like
in this
auto
fucking
multi-generational.
Yeah. In group, out group, incredibly easy to distinguish.
Well, dude, are you? I know we haven't talked about it, but have you caught any of the new Silo on Apple TV? The one the new season or the old season?
No.
It's based on this really depressing set of books that my brother got me into. It was called Wool, and there were 3 of them, and the first one was Wool, and then the other one was Silo, and then I forget the other one. But it was like, I'm gonna hang myself if I read any more of this by the end of like halfway through the second one. It was written in like 2016, 2012-ish in there. So about these people who go into a silo and they have lost contact with history. They have no idea what time frame they're in. The only thing they really know is when it ended, because that's when all the factories stopped making Pez dispensers, which they treat like contraband if they find them in the silo. Because it heralds a time that doesn't exist anymore.
It's like a relic that.
A relic is exactly what they call it. A red level relic.
A relic that is a tether to like a set of memories.
There's so many spoiler alerts. I gotta
valuable.
Yeah, I gotta like watch it, because you really only watch the first season if you don't know the ending of it. I will not break this for you, in case you ever want to watch it, or anyone who's watching. You're welcome.
Yeah, it sounds like a decent one. Is it like how long is it?
Well, there's a whole season. And then they're slow dripping the second one. And me and the missus are usually wiser than we are now. But like TV crackheads that we are, we're like, we'll watch it each week. So now we have to wait till like Tuesday for this one and Thursday for that one. We call that being on the drip. We were on the drip so hard one time, we swore at ourselves we'd never get on the drip again. Now we're on the drip again. And it's not good. I'm dripping Dune Prophecy. It's fucking great. Hard not to drip it. I'm also dripping Silo.
It's
so I'm
on
just like
Hulu,
drip
right?
head. Silo is an Apple TV,
No.
and Dune is a Max.
Prophecy.
You can get Max through a lot of other things. Yeah, you can get it through Hulu. I get through Amazon Prime because it's cheap. Dude, they gave me. I'm probably breaking the law and my terms of service on this shit. But by disclosing the price I got. But I did a month and then I canceled, and I always say it's too expensive, and they go, okay, like we got a deal for you, and I was like, that's a dumb deal. No, too expensive. They go, okay. Our AI has come up with one more deal for you. And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, it'll be $5 a month for 6 months, but it's a 6-month term. So you owe us $30, but we give it to you for 6 months. And I'm like, I get 6 months of Max for $30? I'm like, that's like a negligible, I'm like, that's a rounding error in my, it's like, what are we talking about? Like, this is so insane. So I was like, yeah, like, I'm like, I can swing $5 a month for Max.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm like trolling Max, like watching every old movie on there. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Max is well curated. You know what is the most annoying app I use for movies? Just throwing everybody. Apple. The Apple app is like very slow, like deeply slow. Like I'm in there and it's like, you want to watch this movie? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, it's $24. I'm like, that's expensive.
What hardware are you using it on?
PS4. The Apple app on a PS4. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Not an Apple TV. But they don't.
Deprecated.
There should be a law. They have to clearly designate what are the free movies and not the free movies, because Apple does not have that much. Like they get a small number of quite not great movies every month. But you get a Max that's like well curated, and you're like, these movies are freaking great. Like you can watch 6 or 7 of them, and it's like, here's what I always compare all of these subs to: price to take the missus to the movies, even without dinner. Just eat dinner at home and go to the movies. You're like, what are you in Denver? You're in for probably $80, like out cheap, $80, 60 to $80.
Out cheap.
Yeah, $80 easy,
including the movie tickets.
Yeah, and you might be up for a little bit more if you get any drinks. We don't drink, so when people drink, it's like they get hit a lot harder. A lot harder. a lot harder. Like that's a hilarious thing. Like if Sagar and Jetty ever debated a weed thing, like he's always against weed. He's on breaking points with Crystal Ball. With Sagar and Jetty, if you ever really debated weed, I go, dude, let's just put weed as a vice. Let's call it a vice because okay, say it's a vice, even though it's China. The oldest medicine book in the world is written in Chinese and is over 5,000 years old, and it has like 178 preparations of cannabis. And it says, well, if you can't get any cannabis, we'll give these 50 other plants that might get you something, but get you some cannabis. That's the whole point of the book is cannabis. It's the oldest medical text in the world. It's like such a medicine that they wrote the oldest medical textbook about it. It's been around for that long. Anyway, so let's just call it a vice for a second.
Talk about receipts on this.
yeah. It's like, come on now, nerds. Like you gotta play fair. You gotta play this game fair. So now let's go compare all your vices. First off, let's come up with a category for comparing vices. Financial ruin is a vice. It can happen in a vice, right? If you get a thing for hookers, prostitutes, financial ruin is high. like somebody's gonna steal your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like prostitution or whatever. Maybe legalizing it like helps with that or something. I don't know. Not. I don't know why that even came to mind. That didn't cross my mind at the time. But what I'm saying there is, okay. So money can be big in that one. Gambling, you can lose your kid's future in an afternoon if you gamble properly.
Yeah.
And that shit's everywhere. Watch any podcast and they're like, hey, brought to you by DraftKings. No problem. You're going to be fine. It's like horrible. the side effects of gambling. Although I think it should be legal and well regulated. But I think when it's not. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so then there's alcohol.
It's a tantalizing game.
Dude, sometimes I look at when I'm around a bar and I'll look at the prices or ask what the prices are. It's like $20 a drink. That's cheap sometimes. So it's like if you give me $20 and show me to like any weed store of the 650 in Denver, for $20 I could show a large number of people a good time.
Yeah.
Like that's $20 goes a long way in Cannabis land. Like it's crazy. Like that's like a drink. Like, and you need like to have a nice evening. What it's like 3 to 5 drinks for a hard evening.
You can get 100 milligrams of edibles for $20.
And knock out your neighborhood. Like if because 3 medical like well dosed 3 is like a lot.
Yeah.
For some people who don't do it normally.
100 milligrams, everyone gets 5. That's that's plenty.
You could send an entire 5th grade classroom on the most amazing trip. Just kidding. Adults only, in legal states only. Totally. But anyway, I think when you add up when you come up with the proper categories to what's the impact on society? That would be a category. What is the tolerance for like most people, how addicted do most people get to it? Like how easy is giving an average person and their average addiction to these things would be very different. It's very hard to stop some drugs. One of the hardest ones to stop is nicotine. It has one of the lowest percentages of people stopping it, which is a crazy one when you think about it.
People like that stuff.
Oh, and now they're like, does it come in an IV bag yet, or am I on that future? They're like stuffing it. They're like liquids, and people love their nicotine. They're like eating it and chewing gum and like passing out, like because they're over nicotining themselves. And I hear stories.
Oh no, they do. We do. All the
You're passing out. Oh no! Oh no!
I'm confessing that. Yeah, well, it's not an all the time, but yeah, I've tried.
No, I hear you. I have to make a fundamental change here in my setup.
Fundamental.
I have to go fundamental. I lose the power to summon voices from at will, but
summon the high ping warrior.
But I gain what I lose in summoning abstract voices. I gain in my ability to fully. Just make sure I got this right. Okay. Come on now. Oh, right. I have to unleash it. And I have to then go like this. And I go like this, I think. All right. Let me show you this thing.
Draw a picture.
Oh, yeah. What do you want me to draw?
Go ahead. Right, no, whatever. Do what you're doing.
All right. Check this out. I've been playing with this marble. and I realized I was in the same room as the guy who made this marble, which I made a horrible faux pas. And the horrible faux
Wait
pas
a
I made
second. What?
was not to actually ask him what he was thinking when he made this. I just want to show you this for a second. This whole thing is glass.
Right.
And inside the glass, there are 3 little wafers of more glass. And that glass has this Rasta pattern on one side. In this middle one, there's like these little 3 little sub things in there, which are floating in glass. So they're kind of just floating in space right there. There's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can kind of see
Little
there.
rings.
Little rings.
And
Each side has a backside, which has like, this is like, you know, the little eyeballs and stuff like that. But you can kind of see the main insight here. I wanted to explain for this lesson on the marble, because I'm sure there will be future marble lessons as I figure more out. But this lesson goes like this. Watch this shit. Look at the thing, one in the middle. You see how big it is? You see how these are smaller?
Yeah.
Like here you got the pattern here. You can see the pattern and how it's smaller. So here it is in real. It's big in the middle. And then it's small like that. Okay, now watch this. Watch this one. I'm going to turn it all the way around. Here it is halfway around. And now it is all the way around. Look, it's bigger. The back layer becomes bigger than that. Right there, it's smaller. And now the light is being slowed down and refracted through the glass, which means that's why they call this the Rasta warp core. And they told me that. I was so high when I bought it from this guy. And I put it in my pocket and I was like, well, I'll figure that out later. It's even real. I wasn't even sure, dude. I was like, we might
Dude,
not
I saw a video on this the other week. Bailey and I watched it. This guy made a camera, and it's a camera on the end of an arm.
Yeah.
That he swings around, and then he has a mirror, so then he can shoot points just spinning it, and he can see around. He can take pictures of things like behind a wall and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Because
he
like shows you how the
light bends.
He walks, and he models out how the light bends to be able to see, and how his contraption is adjusting for it. Really, really, super homemade nerd video in his sweet
I want this
lab.
link. This sounds fantastic. This sounds absolutely fantastic. The warping of the glass, the refraction, like imagine a glass of water and you put a straw into it and the straw kind of breaks, the image kind of breaks. Why is it disconnected? It's because turns out the light travels slower through glass than it slows the glass. The glass slows the light down and like pulls it around. So that marble is like stretching the back to the front, like in that like towards the edge of that marble. And I was like holding it, staring at it. I think it's the closest physical metaphor to music I've ever seen. Because like music is like, if you're paying attention to what you're listening to and it's not just something in the background, music is just so on tap. You can have like dynamite music just like playing in the background. It's like no big deal. When I was growing up, it was like you put on the record or caught a random radio station, but it was like very rare to like be able to play back what you wanted to hear.
It is interesting, like consuming albums versus consuming playlists or radio. It's a completely different
night and day
thing.
Night and day. Yeah, listen to old like CCR albums and stuff. Creedence Clearwater Revival. They're like Jesus. Woo! The entire way I think about those songs is the song before it and after it. Like it's in my head. It's one bowl of experiences that happen in a certain order, like a feast with courses.
Totally.
And everyone happens in the right. The end of this song always leads into this one.
Yep.
This feeling leads into this feeling. It's actually really difficult to listen to an album, and you can't publicly listen to albums, even with the best licensing and keeping it completely above board. You can only listen to 3 songs from an album in a 2 or 3 hour period. I think it's a 2 hour period.
It makes albums an inherently like generally
illegal
private experience.
Private. You can't play them on. But that's the crazy thing. It's like that's how everybody experiences them. So why would it be wrong to share that? What are we talking about?
In that era of IP law, This is the environment
Only
that
in
was
America.
created. Yeah.
When I was doing on this deep dive for legal reasons into a bunch of stuff I was trying to build, I was building some VR stuff with included music, and when I mentioned any other country, like literally anyone, they were like, "All rules are off. Do whatever you want." So it's like you're in Mexico. Fuck yeah. Like there's no structure that can get. There's like so many places in the world where they're just like, play the music. Like just turn it on. Like they don't have any. They don't create a lot of IP artists there. They consume ours and it's copied, but it's
most of their artists.
But they are listening to full albums.
Artists,
yeah, totally.
American artists. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's just the sacrifice that we make. But back to my Sauger. Yeah, back to my Sauger metaphor.
Rich.
Yeah, I think cannabis wins on so many levels. The side effects of cannabis are just kind of like a lack of focus and sort of a spaciness. Then could potentially be a little alpha brain solves that problem. Toot sweet.
But not a chaos like
you can go on a walk, you can go to a job, yeah. you stock shelves the morning after you're high, or it's not a big deal. Like okay, now talk to me about the side effects of 3 drinks. It's kind of fucks your next day, right?
Yeah, like
who gets? Does anyone get away from it? Are there any humans out there that are just like, no, I just don't have the hangover?
I had
it's like it's everybody, right?
Weekend. I had 2 drinks this weekend, and yeah, it's like it's a weird reset that alcohol gives you.
Yeah.
And like you get the reset at no matter how quantity, and then it'll scale in terms of pain and delirium the next day.
Pain and delirium, dude. That's so crazy. Like, and plus, people who really rock it, like, well, they just drink all the time.
You can push through if you push.
Yeah, there's a lot of functional drinkers.
I have drank more when I was a little in my earlier 20s.
Sure.
Not like massive quantities, but consistently, for periods of time, with friends when we were all living together and stuff like that. And
no, I've only drunk like 3 times in my life or some shit, like a very tiny amount of times. But the for me, I can't drink. I barely even get around alcohol, and I'm like, I can like talk to my dead relatives like, dude, it's no big deal. Like, should not touch that stuff.
Fun. Callbacks, unwanted callbacks. The yeah.
Well, I discovered late in life that I was Irish. And when I was a kid, I looked around at just my family drinking, and I was like, "Oh, like no one should drink." Like,
there's really something about alcohol. It takes from tomorrow in a way that.
Right.
Well,
okay. So side effects.
There are side effects.
Right.
Different.
Okay. Let's talk
medicines.
Danger to society via operating heavy equipment, aka car wrecks. Okay. That's a category. Okay, alcohol will kill a fool. Like alcohol, you're into cars.
Heavy objects.
Dude, it is the car lobby, especially in Colorado, but in a lot of places like Florida and other places, they allegedly, they're out there. What they're doing is they're allegedly they're doing this, but it's allegedly. Allegedly,
okay.
When they lobby to have specific language included that they want these driving while intoxicated laws. They can't apply just to alcohol, which is what they were written for. They're like, it applies to weed too. And it's like, does it? There's the Union is the best reference of this from an anecdotal perspective I've ever seen. But there was that's one with the Union is about cannabis growing in Canada. And how it was illegal for a while, but they had like the people got together, something like this. Anyway, they have this. Maybe it's actually no. Maybe the Union is in America and it's in the black market. But anyway, at one point they talked to this Canadian Mountie, and he said, "Let me tell you something. Like after 45 years of like policing the highways and pulling people over for all manner of things, I can tell you with absolute certainty that 100% or close to 95%, like a very high number of the accidents I attended were caused by alcohol. And I can tell you with certainty that none of them were caused by cannabis. And he's like, that's 45 years on the road talking to you. So I don't know I'm not worried about that. You shouldn't be worried about that either. Like, I'm the one who's actually cleaning up these fucking messes and these deaths on the road.
Yeah. This is called organic feedback.
Right. And then you're just like, Jesus. I mean, I knew it wasn't a big deal, but like, fuck, that's really crazy. So that's why the alcohol lobbies want that included in the language, because if people ever got whiff that they could probably be a little high and drive okay, then like, no, like, it's so crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's I'm curious as to like what will happen. This is like, oh, okay, there's hope in the air in this time, because there's this shift in government that's gonna happen.
Might be a federal rescheduling of the cannabis, which would be real nice, because 85% of people want it. So it's like, where's this 15 that hate weed so much? It's Sagar and Jetty, dude.
Yeah, but and he is the immigrant, fucking first generation.
He also loves to gamble.
Yeah, I know. Indian guy. Yeah.
He loves to gamble. He's like, listen, I only go to these tables on these nights, and I only have the money in my pocket. I don't have my debit cards with me. I'm just like, you sound like you're gonna have a problem if you had all your money with you. Which is like principally bad. If I have all my money with me at a cannabis shop, I'm going home with a legal limit that can get my entire block obliterated for a week. But there is a limit.
Yeah.
And it kicks in at a certain point. But
well, and you don't go once a week or anything like that. Yeah, like
right.
you get a legal limit for yourself.
It's a 6-month supply.
Yeah, it lasts for months.
Like months and months and months. And it didn't cost you that much. Like, it was like, and plus, if you're a deal shopper, there's 650 weed shops in Denver alone. So they're all competing for your dollar. So there's like, would you like all of the cannabis for almost none of the money? Like, how does that sound? And, yeah, it's wild. We got people bopping in here. We got Devitron. Devitron, you're here. What's shaking, bacon? How are you, sir?
Doing well.
Very nice.
Yeah, good to see you.
Do you have a smile? Do you have a smile filter on, or is that just your smile?
I'm happy.
You're happy.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sounds good. It's good to see you, sir.
Good, dude.
We were just talking about we should let's put a bow on our vices conversation.
I'm gonna put an AirPod.
Put an AirPod. So when you go through all these categories, like, cannabis turns out to be, I think, one of the least vicey vices on the vice spectrum, in terms of just like all these different impacts. And there's I'm gonna do like a real class on it, like put all the information in one place. Like, it is literally just like a psyop from like the 1930s. But like people, it was demonized, like, intentionally.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good class. I need to do some dives because I got, when I was in Ohio, we got some gummies from the one of the dispensaries there. We were in Ohio. Yeah, got some gummies while we were there.
Can I show frames? This is not a gun.
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to show my new one.
That's just a piece of plastic.
It is a piece
for the record.
I got a new piece of plastic.
New piece of plastic. Well, challenging the censors in new ways. So swing it around. Do something irresponsible. Hold it to your head like an irresponsible gun.
Speaking of vices,
yeah. Well, YouTube is on my shit list. YouTube's on my shit list because we had a men's group meeting, and in our men's group meeting, I'm not even gonna. We might have mentioned some medical treatments that people had. We might have mentioned some things that can happen when those happen, but
look at the
not putting any specifics on it.
Oh my god, the censorship!
The censorship. Dude, I had an unlisted video on YouTube that like 3 people were gonna watch. I've never seen like 2 views on those things. But we sometimes record our men's group and just give it to the other men's members as an unlisted video. And it slapped me with like a warning and was like, "You got to attend re-education camp." And I'm like, why? And they're like, because the WHO says this. And I'm like, I'm an American citizen. I haven't made any legally binding treaties with the WHO. Have you, YouTube? What are you doing? You're a U.S. company. Like, why are you carrying water for this? This thing? Like, why is that the nice? Why, dude? If you want to describe anything, Devin, go ahead. This is totally the time where we get the channel canceled. Just please continue.
We have the full size frame.
Okay.
We have the compact frame.
Nice.
Got a nice light on it. What?
And now we got the subcompact frame.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's a nice light. It's a dual laser, has a green laser, blue laser, strobing flashlight, regular flashlight.
Strobing flashlight to highlight you're knocking out your opponent's night vision.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this one also has just a regular laser on it. It's just a blue laser. But yeah,
there's this author, and he wrote a book called Damon.
Hello.
There you're back.
You're
back now.
MON. Damon. Okay, what was that? Oh God, what is? Okay, I'm too far into it now. Oh, here we go. Popping back in. Oh, blessed technical error. Fantastic.
Someone called me.
No problem. It makes sense to me. You're multitasking. You're multitasking. Okay. There was a book called Terminal List. No. Terminal List is an actual book. Sci-fi book. Daemon. Author. Daniel Suarez. God, that was hard. Woo! Daniel Suarez has a book called Damon. But he's also a crazy writer, and he's a Michael Crichton writer in the sense that he is constantly writing about the technology of the future and how it'll be integrated into society. And his book Damon is a book about His book Damon is a book about this guy who dies, and it sets off like a batch file that like troubles the world for years to come. It has like bank accounts it can draw from and like objectives it's trying to meet and a whole bunch of different kinds of things, right? So in any event, a couple of his main characters, good and bad, have these crazy defense systems around their personal property that involve drones that don't have to have guns on them. All it needs is one projectile and a magnetic pulse to like send it at like 6 times the speed of sound or some shit, So it's like, and then it has little camera and AI recognition. Yeah. Just like you just give it a face and say, go find that, and then you just like leave it in a neighborhood, and it goes and wanders around until it finds this person, and then just like turns them into a sauce, right? At least their head. And anyway, it's terrifying because all that technology actually exists. I was using Opus. Good.
It's the drones are like a
right.
Fuck. Like
dude.
Like it's a whole, like you're like now it's more than ever. It's like in any type of even domestic like
sure
thing, it can be like, all right, you need you gotta think about your heat signature and
got a question for
overhead
you.
cover, like, cause you could get bombed by a fucking $1,500 piece of equipment that you could buy, equip, and fly. Like, you could do that. Like,
right. Well, what was freaking me out. What was freaking me out was this one entry, and this is what I thought of, Devin. Sorry for the long rabbit hole here, but they had these robot motorcycles that were like really compact and low to the ground and just 2 wheels and an AI that could like drive them. And it had lasers on the side, but like not normal lasers, like lasers that you could get over the counter through certain Chinese catalogs. But when you saw the laser, that was the last light you were going to see because now you're blind. like I'm just like, fuck, dude. And they're like, that's incredibly common with lasers. Like that, once you pass a certain wattage.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well,
because your eyes are really sensitive, and you cook your cells, and you're done. It's like staring into the sun for too long.
In the back of your eyes,
very sensitive,
are delicate, dude.
Delicate.
Well, dude, I recently Have you seen any crazy drone shit, Devin?
Have you seen
Oh
crazy
yeah, dude!
drone
I
shit,
saw
Devin?
a Russian soldier hiding up under a cargo truck for a train, like a cart. He's hiding under it. Drone comes flying up under there, and there's also aerial footage of the drone just flying up under there, and you just see like body parts fly everywhere. I was like,
dude, what? It's like. Exactly. You're watching You're watching military snuff films on like Instagram or like it's like on TikTok.
Instagram. I'm like,
dude, I hadn't signed into Facebook in like a really long time, and I signed into Facebook. What I post in Ghost Facebook, it's literally just connected to this Restream account. So this video is on Facebook right now. So I don't even read the censorship errors I get on Facebook. But I get on there and my feed is completely pure because I haven't clicked or moved on anything really. Anyway, I go in there on this freshy account and it's like I'm just watching one psyop. It's like for psyop A, do you answer this way or this way? That way you know which way to psyop you. For psyop B, do you answer this way? It was just like I was seeing the whole psyop menu. If I start clicking this one, these all other options disappear, and now they're like, it's like they've got me. They've got a they're psyoping you.
You're at the top of the silos, and you're just gonna bury your way into one of them.
Well, okay, so watching a snuff film or watching someone die is actually really intense. Like, because you're watching a human death, right? And it's something you get used to if you watch it too much. And so it's like bad to like watch. People are like, I watch all these war videos.
Really
it's like you're in war then.
Like that, yeah.
Right.
They don't do. They're not generally nice people because they're just like a little desensitized to.
I actually saw quite a bit of.
They're recording the death of their enemies at this point. Yeah. Or broadcasting them. Yeah.
Well,
I walked through a chicken
for sure
processing plant and saw thousands of chickens getting murdered today.
Come closer to the microphone.
I walked through a chicken processing plant today and watched thousands of chickens get murked.
Damn.
I when I'm around lots of animal death, I find myself praying a lot for those little sweet souls. Like,
dude, there's a whole room in this processing plant called the blood tunnel, where they slit the chicken's throats and blood just starts flying everywhere because the conveyor belt's moving so fast that it's like their heart's pumping the blood out the neck because they're hanging upside down. But like they're like flinging around on the conveyor belt and there's just blood all over the walls. It was insane, bro.
You're making a good point. If you took like an enemy combatant and put them in the blood tunnel, you'd be a monster and it'd be a war crime. Like you'd be rightfully shunned from all human society. But throw 1,000 chickens in the blood tunnel and you're like a capitalist.
That facility is literally this big machine. It's a business. It shows up like other companies on paper, and it does that. That's its whole purpose. It has tax write-offs.
Blood tunnels.
It has
blood tunnel write-off.
It has the same legal protections as an individual,
as a hospital,
as your pastor.
Yeah, totally. Well, YouTube. Okay, so tying this all together. So YouTube sent me to a mandatory re-education camp, and where they were like, listen, we're gonna tell you what's right, and then you tell us what we said. We're gonna test you on this. It's very important you understand. And it's like usually when I go to the censorship rehabilitation camp, I actually know law. I actually know the law is pretty good. I don't think they should enforce them the way they do. If I showed you a clip right now, that would be fair use because it'd be a transformative use of the clip. And we're not monetized at this stage. And there is that's not the most important part, but it's not a replacement for the original experience. Like someone commenting on it is not a replacement for that.
Yeah.
Devitron, turn on your noise canceling. If you find the little in the app, which is very weirdly hidden on a mobile phone, there's a little wrench audio noise canceling on just for this part. Oh, and I don't even have a noise canceling on either. Peter, you got to call me on that.
You didn't have any issues.
Noise suppression. Oh, it's called noise suppression. Sorry, noise suppression. There you go. Nice.
Play music and stuff. I think you had yours off.
That's right. To play music, you got to turn it off. The okay. So I got some stuff to show you, but let's finish up we got more Devin beeps. Something's beeping. I can't see him on the screen there yet. Okay, one more time here. Land this plane, YouTube and their mind slavery camps. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so we don't need no educate. We don't need no thought control. Just another brick in the wall. I love Pink Floyd. All right, so anyway, it's about censorship too, that song. Wabam. They're like, dude, the WHO said that you should do this. And I'm like, the WHO is welcome to say whatever they want to say. But as an American citizen, I'm allowed to like discuss an idea with my dudes. I'm sorry if my recording, unlisted as it is on your service, like tripped your AI superbot. You know, it was like, but I was like, that's the level that they're listening. And like, they were like, this moment that you had with your friends is illegal. And I'm like, you're illegal. Like, what are you talking about? I'm a motherfucking American. Like, get bent all the way. Like, that's so fucked up. So anyway, we're going to have a clip show, and we're going to launch a clip show, and we're going to be on X, and we're going to be on Rumble, and we are also going to have a live broadcast going out on Mixcloud, which has good laws too, has good legal protections in the UK for broadcasting. In America, we have to deal with the Motion Picture Association and all these recording. We have to deal with a lot of craziness, but we also have to deal with corporations who feel like it's their job to tell you what an international medical body who got the entire pandemic wrong says. It's like, dude.
Yeah, dude. And people are still getting shots that will increase their likelihood of dropping from cancer.
Listen. That sounds amazing. Where do I sign up?
Shit, man.
But here's the key. The reason why there's even so much thought control around it is because of the money. It's not even a principled thing. It's literally just payments to politicians, payments to
unchecked
TV stations.
Yeah,
really. It really is. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
And it's not necessarily it's just like governance is expensive, and governing highly profitable industries is hard.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I want to show you
really valuable is hard to fucking redistribute that money.
Okay, this is Sora. Sora is the AI video component from OpenAI, which is who makes ChatGPT. We're getting a lot of beeps here. I don't see any Devin drop it in here. Sorry, Devin, if you're trying to reassociate here. This dancing alien scene is one of my favorites. Sora seems to get dancing pretty good, but these are all now. Sora is open and it's included in your ChatGPT license, but they're not taking any newcomers right now because they've pent up this for like a year. This demand, and so now they're letting everybody in because there's like 6 things that do this now. Like at this level, like it's not even a big deal. They got leapfrogged by a lot of Chinese. Basically, yeah, the Chinese market was the first one to bring like the real. I think it was like really. This stuff wasn't like more widely available. Okay, Devin, try to hang in there,
this
sir.
Stuff is cool,
We got you.
And they're trying to regulate these AI companies, and put them in nice chokeholds and only have a few of them so they can counteract
the market pressures,
like deep fakes, and they can say that it's all regulated, and then they can create their own deep fakes.
That's exactly how it would be used. Yeah,
they'll own all the deep fakes, and no one else will be able to make deep fakes.
I think the artistic. There is always a danger of a medium misleading people. When you have new powers of communication, there's always side effects. There was what was that hardcore history? Hardcore history with Dan Carlin. He had one about the printing press coming out. Anyway, this is some of the stuff you can get out of Sora. Devin, kick in that noise cancellation on your thing there, if you would, please, sir.
Sorry.
It's okay. Thank you. So, okay,
Oh shit! What were we saying?
Dude,
Stoner
have you
vision.
seen those?
Hardcore
those
history.
robot wolves.
Robot wolves.
That's gonna be one of the for the clip show.
Okay, fantastic.
I
love
saw just recently
Mhm.
some Chinese robot, a 4-pack of robots that have different accessories that work as a team. They have
4-pack accessories team. What's the
4-pack
situation?
of wolves with
A 4-pack of wolves.
wolf
Okay.
robots.
Here's the legit reference I want to make. This is Dan Carlin, Hardcore History, The Prophets of Doom. You can buy this for $2, and it's well worth the $2, because what you hear here in this whole thing is what happens to society when now people get the truth. So in the Prophets of Doom, the way that the Prophets of Doom shakes out is that the printing press gets invented. And then all of these people.
This is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be good.
They are now.
I wonder.
It was
might have
encrypted.
Seen that, heard that one.
It's like they gave them the decryption keys when they printed the Bible in German, and then let lots of people read it in German, where people said, "Oh my God! Now I'm the priest. I don't have to. I have to be a part of the structure, the Catholic Church. I can like understand this for myself, and I'll like do. Okay, so that's a power." And in our modern world, there's a lot of people that carry that power quite well, in the sense that they are closer to the divine source in terms of authority than they were as a peasant in medieval Europe. Said fairly, I think. Prophets of Doom is a story about the printing press gone wrong. These guys, this guy's like, I'm in charge of this town. I'm the king. I'm God or some shit. All your wives are mine. And then they just they get into wars with each other, and it just boom, like society breaks apart.
Yeah.
All because now they can read. They were like, this is the shit they've been. When my local priest says, do what he says, I thought he was like under perfect crystal clear authority, but it turns out that even Jesus was saying that some people could be like, you'll do these things and more, and the kingdom of God is within you and shit. What's all this shit?
They got to experience for themselves and then share their experience more easily.
Exactly.
They democratize sharing your experience for the
Yeah.
first time.
Well,
in terms of being able to print it and share it, like copy paste version instead of like literally you could write stuff out, and that's how knowledge went before. All books were handwritten copies, but then you could make a printing set and print hundreds.
Literacy was a 1% operation, 2% tops, like 3 maybe. Holy shit, like 3% literate. That's crazy.
How many fucking hands you have to wash to read those books?
Dude, to get a hold of them, they're like more precious than gold. Like the information, like they, it's like what really is going on. Oh man. The publication of it, it's like now everyone has their own printing press. This is a kind of printing press, isn't it? Because here are these little pixel screens and all these pixel screens getting together and saying things. And I am principally against YouTube giving themselves the pass on coming into my unlisted video, criticizing my situation, like one of my friends are saying about a bunch of things, and then being like, now you're going to re-education camp to learn the real rules. It's like, I don't agree with your rules. Your rules are dumb. I don't want to do your rules. Why are you in charge of the rules? It's like, oh, you got to use our platform. It's like, you are one of many. Like, we can just turn this dial here and we go to another one. What's wrong here?
We literally are going to a bunch of different ones, and
totally.
You're the only one speaking up. Like, what are you?
Exactly. You're the only one turning your AIs loose on us in this way.
The WHO, I guess.
Exactly. Okay. What are they? Exactly. What are you? They camp out in your basement? They live in your house? What's going on? But
it would be nice to have
censor the printing presses.
Tool set as Google for security and performance, but there aren't very many other options. And they also have these other platforms, but these are their platforms.
These are choices being made by engineers to turn these AIs who can do this natural language processing loose. It's bad enough that they're doing it to just snoop on everything you're doing. That's bad enough. But in addition to doing that, they're taking the step of saying, you know what? I think we know right in this case. I think for this unlisted video that these 3 people might be watching, I think we know best, and we're saying no to this. This is bad for. It's like, what? Where do you live? like, are you sure you're in a palace that is completely impregnable from the results of your actions? Like, you're just gonna make this engineering choice and torture people? Like, I am well educated, and the cold thumb of censor to be like, oh, you're doing it wrong. It makes me I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's if you were a kid, you're 7, 10, you're even the effect of all this stuff. Like, good luck to you. Like, that's crazy.
It's hard not to. Yeah, there's real authority. It comes with a certain amount of authority.
Yeah.
With how big the platform is. And so,
well, it's a power thing with technology.
Yeah.
The Sora, they kept it to just like 100 artists or whatever, and the artists just released an open letter that was a GitHub repository that said, hey, we've been ripped off. Like, we've been beta testing behind the curtain for Sora for so long. It's made no money. They've paid us nothing to do this. They gave us early access to this so we can work out their bugs and file reports. It's like, it's all free. Your company's worth billions of dollars. What is up? Like, it was like this open source thing. And then boom, a week and a half later, they're like, oh, here, everybody come in. It's already almost outdated. I remember when Sora was like the crystalline vision. But dude, let me show you some of the new tools I've been playing around with here. This is okay, display, bang. Okay, these are the Prophets of Doom. All right. I had a Kyber.
Get that one. Listen to
What's
it
that?
Again.
Prophet of Doom? Oh god, so good.
Again, yeah.
So fucking good. Yeah, totally.
Putting that down.
It's great for it's really, really, really good for conversations about religion and the history of Christianity, because Christianity took some risks. Martin Luther's a risk, the Reformation's a risk. There's a lot of there's a lot of things like it you went through or whatever. These are all to its benefit. Like, having 23,000 kinds of practicing Christianity means it's quite decentralized in terms of like, wait, what? It's like, there's no monopole to Christianity. That's an advantage that it has in a decentralized kind of world. There's no one can claim the truth over others, or be nice if you are. Otherwise, we know how this is un-American to think, I don't know. Everyone's welcome to practice and everything like that. But when Americans talk to other Americans, you just got to respect the fact that people don't think the way you think. And that's cool, because you're thinking in a hyper local way in your zip code. Go for it. But keep it in perspective.
Yeah, there's there's respect for context.
Yeah.
Like personal, context, personal. I wouldn't maybe go as far as say personal experience, but for lack of a better term.
Yeah. This is two images generated inside of
Dolly,
Midjourney, and then put together inside of Runway, where Runway essentially interpolates these things. And I told it to do some extra stuff, like make fireworks and stuff. So this is our new opening for our Deeper Into Movies podcast. We'll show this little sweet little loop. What's really cool about, let me just figure this out real quick. What's really cool about, so Kyber was a video platform that was really good for making what's the right word for it? You could the Zoom video that we do sometimes, where we're like all zooming through space. This video, let me turn off the sound though. Hold on. Yeah, this little video right here. This is made in Kyber, and this is not the one on mine, but like the one on the main one. This is what Kyber does. It allows you to synchronize music with sound, and it's really powerful to do that. It takes a lot of time, and their interface is quite buggy, but you can get it to do sound and visuals at the same time, right? So that's Kyber there, and then what I'm doing. So Kyber has been just that for the longest time, but now they have this new workspace. This is MinMax. MinMax is another product from a Chinese company that really gets dancing well. Like, I basically just said, hey, have these people stand up and start dancing, and then it does this. It's like, it's so great. It's so, okay, it's yes. Like, yeah, like, and you see this, the person, her, her entire chair turns into her cloak, turns into her coat, turns into her jacket. You know, these two people were one person. It's one person here. There's another person that was hidden. Now there's two people. They're dancing around, and then and now there's one. And then same thing over here. I think this one splits off two more people too. There's like all these hidden people.
The person in the middle absorbs their chair. The other people on the outside double.
Well, okay, so the cool thing about Kyber is the way you did the subscription to it is it gave you credits. But now I've got almost 17,000 credits inside of here that are just built up. Most services reset your credits at the beginning of each month, and it's not, you don't get a ton for your, it just, if you're not just like living in there, you're not really taking advantage of it. But they just introduced this thing called the Super Studio, and the Super Studio here is crazy cool because what it'll let you do is lets you access any kind of different workflow. So so not only can you get Runway, like the Runway 3 model, but you can get the Kling model, you can get the Min-Max model, you can get the Luma model, and they have all kinds of different applications for it. And they're just going to keep building this thing. So this is kind of the new thing where you can go get a Runway subscription, but you can also just use Runway inside of an API call, basically. You don't get like every single detailed feature. They like keep features out of the API. They're not integrated yet and this kind of thing. But what's crazy about it, it's all in this UI. And you can but what's cool about the Kyber thing is it's like a way of stacking your credits on it and everything. And anyway, there's just a whole
I'm sure they manage it differently. I wonder the different models have different costs to use, so they're able to control the tokenomics a little different.
This there's if I do like a min-max 5 seconds is 50 of their little coins, and this is half, like 5. It costs half as much to do it under Runway. To do it. Yeah, it says all these kind of, I've been trying to work out all these different, okay, that's them dancing. This is like my pile of stuff I can't get to work. But I've got all these different UFOs turning into like, the fading sucks. Like I want it to.
Well, they put it all on a whiteboard.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. It's like a Miro for all of this stuff. And you can connect workflows.
Browser power, guys.
Exactly.
Browser
You've got the perfect
power.
computer in your browser. Don't make it complicated. You can use what's here. And like exactly. And like I mean you can get some shit done in here. But boom. I want it to be anyway, I want to make it, this one's really cool. I love how it pulls away here. I want a smoother transition there where it's kind of cool. It's kind of like I want these people to turn into little crystal people. And anyway, this is crazy to me because I spent a large amount of time thinking about animation and computer animation. This kind of power is just absolutely crazy. How the power that it like grants you. It's just nuts. It's the ability to go from like an imagination to seeing it, and then the communications power to show that to another person. This whole concept of censorship is insanity because in a democracy, especially in America, we're supposed to talk to each other about everything laterally, not just listen to our overlords or listen to your media or whatever. You're supposed to talk to your friends. You're supposed to talk to people around you and like share your ideas and like develop your ideas to the point where you could share them, or they're not going to stress anybody out by the words coming out of your mouth, you know? You're going to like be housebroken for America.
Yeah, let the make whatever. Yeah, it's a powerful
I trust
medium to create.
Yeah,
and it's weird how it is being currently being governed. What's Kevin doing?
He's just goofing. He's just goofing.
Our gunsmith.
It's just like assembling weapons in his home. It's great. Legally, totally legally. Okay, so we wanted to take a look at this one thing, and then I know we're getting long in the tooth here. Where is that? See, I had so many tabs and I just don't know where they landed. Okay, there they are. All right, small Paul. Bang bang.
Did you restart your computer today?
Yeah, but
when?
This morning. I started on this morning. It was like fresh. Okay. I did a reboot before this broadcast too. So yeah, it's not. Yes. It's it might not be entirely the computer's fault, but who knows? It might be operator error.
No, I was just wondering
But
how
this
you
is
collected so many tabs already.
just a monster of a memory. That's how you do that. like 64 gigs of memory or more. This guy, Ted Gioia, the honest broker, he's got a great Substack. He basically worked for a media company. He worked for, it wasn't TV Guide, but he wrote for that generation of stuff. And anyway, he has this really great article, and it talks about the time when he was in social media. And I've earned money in many unusual ways, especially back in the callow days of my youth. But even in recent years, I've taken on some peculiar projects, which I rarely write or talk about. But today I will share the details about one of them. A few years ago, before I joined Substack, we can skip through this, but what he basically says is he decided to get better at social media. And then here's a chart of his Twitter followers. And after 18 months of floundering, I decided to find a way to use Twitter as a key part of my writing vocation. This is my learning period where I develop my approach to social media, and I finally seem to know what I'm doing. I now have fun, and I have an effective way of connecting with readers without relying on gatekeepers anymore. People now want to hire me as a social media consultant, and that was in like 2020. He joined Substack. He starts relying on it as his primary online platform, and then Twitter starts punishing Substack and any other links to the outside writing. So he literally, it's a story about using Twitter to get on his own thing with Substack, and then how it didn't basically affect him when Twitter started doing this. But he, in this article, it's a very good article. He talks about the karma method of social networking. And here, I can make this larger-ish. Pull this up here. Okay, cool. The karma method of social networking. And the basic rule of social networking: Twitter and other social networks embody the concept of karma. I guess that being the concept of what you reap, what you sow, you'll reap in a certain way, right? So nurture relationships of reciprocity, do favors, create value for others, share and retweet, give credit. If you do these things, the positive energy will come back to you in turn. Both you and your Twitter account will prosper. And then this is kind of an interesting method he's got here. The karma method: kindness, awareness, reciprocity, measurement, and add value for others. Kindness is always the starting point, so don't obsess over fights or feuds. Those achieve nothing. Compassion isn't just more decent, it's also a more effective life strategy. Awareness. Don't be an island. Respond openly to what others are saying and what's happening in the world. Make yourself present to others. Reciprocity. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Golden rule right there. Associate with others who feel the same and develop relationships of reciprocity. Always measure and assess what you do. Pay attention to analytics. If your approach isn't effective, self-evaluation will guide you to something better. Share and add value for others. Share, retweet, and give praise freely. Every day look for some opportunity to give someone else a kudos or a boost. You as a giver will be rewarded in the giving. And then how often do you see people ignore these karma guidelines and instead pursue one of these other strategies on social media, or worse, in day-to-day life? Score settling, threatening. I'm up, you're down. Hooray for my team. Your team sucks. Let's jump on the bandwagon in a mass attack on a single individual. Today's scapegoat. I'm going to argue the water is not wet, or some equivalent. Their closest analogy I can find is road rage. We all know how motorists on the road get angry over the smallest things, honking horns and flipping off total strangers in a way they would never do as a pedestrian or in some other face-to-face setting. They somehow feel that they are insulated from the consequences because they sit inside a powerful automobile. People act the same way behind their computer handheld devices, spouting off on social media as if they were invincible deities. But here's the big difference. In a car, they actually can act with some degree of autonomy, but online, everything is documented, preserved, and attached to a specific name or account. In other words, social media is the worst place to let it rip and blow off steam. But by the same token, it can be a great place to nurture actual human connection and build genuine relationships of reciprocity. So that's pretty cool. That's his karma method.
That is a good one.
I think it's a good one too.
Yeah. You gotta send that.
Well, and it also gives a pretty totally. The Sora thing, you can't even get an account on there. It's completely jammed. But the what is what's wild about the new Opus Clips software that I got over Thanksgiving is I'm trying to figure out like how it all works, like how to like I did figure out that one thing I was looking for is how to make the clips slightly longer or shorter. The short form is just insanely complementary to the algorithm. Like the way that YouTube puts views in front of people, it will
That's
just
where
on a
people
whim.
spend their time watching.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy
where
how much of
most
it.
of the people have their attention.
Yeah, totally.
It's
How-
attention economics. It's like where are people like fucking vortexing into? And it's the
Huh.
short form content, dude. Snappiest. Just sucking
You know,
drain them.
I've been watching more short form than I've watched ever. I thought Jevin was going to bring up the drone thing from before, but we missed a week of broadcasting or 2 weeks or something like that. There was some kind of issues. I can't remember what it is. I caused one of them, and the drone thing has happened since then. Like they still have these crazy drones in the UK everywhere, and they're on American soil. Sometimes they're actual drones. Sometimes they're just these like energy balls and stuff. It's like a gigantic display. It's either partially man-made, or
Drones?
like just stuff in the skies. Jeremy
Okay, so you're
Corbell.
switching to the UFOs.
Oh, to the UFO thing. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're switching to UFOs because we've been talking about drones.
Well,
And
some of the
drones,
drone.
and
There's
you
also
said
drone
drones.
swarms attacking things like people. There's drone swarms apparently chasing people around in New Jersey, like regular drones, like chasing people around. Like,
damn.
yeah,
I didn't heard
totally.
about that. But yeah, no, it's like I've seen tons of drone stuff.
We got to
Over the
figure out
past
ways to
year.
shoot nets through the air ubiquitously around our property. You know, just like radar energy, just send like heat lasers. Like have an AI like point a heat laser at any object that gets close to your airspace.
Yeah,
You know, within,
no, that's
it's
what
like
you want. Is some
like cook
type
it.
of turret, like
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
predator turret.
exactly. Like
outside
if,
of a predator turret, what do you want?
If you're being attacked by drones as a city
in front of your window, you want closed buildings.
Yeah,
fucking
dude. If you're having to hide from the skies in the place,
effort.
who's in charge? Shoot this stuff down. Like radar it down. Like nets. Something.
Yeah.
Like if it's aliens, cool. Let's have the conversation. But if it's like humans or governments or anything like that, it's like that's impossible for it to be allowed to exist. That's not real. But it's like fucking everywhere. It's like it's like a lot of it going on.
Right.
I wish we had with that clip show. We could pull the trigger on the clip show. We've got the when we do, we've got a lot of shit to watch.
Yeah.
But okay. So for the clip show, this is what we're tied all together. For the clip show, I've been watching more short form content.
Disposal.
The garbage disposal. Exactly. Short form content on X and Rumble and Mixcloud. Okay. I can feel it affecting my brain.
Yeah.
Like just
what
what
are the effects? Come on. Right, like this is a great time to document this. What are the effects?
Okay. When it comes time to like reading an article or watching an entire video, I feel my body wanting to pull away from the content, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because there's something else that might be interesting. It's like, dude, you spent your whole life coming to this point of the internet. Sit down. It's a miracle that you can see this electronic thing snapping off a screen and you know the language. And it's like, but it's printing presses. We're going through a prophets of doom for the world right now with everybody having their own printing presses and being able to generate and send their ideas to everyone. It makes us more susceptible to propaganda. They just shut down the whole world propaganda wise. That was the exercise. The pandemic stuff, lockdowns, proven to be ineffective. I'm sure that just killed us, but I don't know. There seems to be. I'm watching. Listen to a lot of people smarter than me that are basically talking about how it would have been a better idea to have a more open media ecosystem where ideas could have been expressed, and that would have outed the best answers rather than putting the whole world through the worst possibilities. You do that in smaller groups and like, oh, we put this one small group of people through it. Now look, it's not so good. It's like you can extrapolate on this stuff or whatever. That's like the basis of herd science and all this other stuff. Anyway, I have a lot of hope that with the transitioning in Trump administration, we could have the social media platforms decide, what are you? Are you a publisher or are you an editor? If you're an editor and you're coming into Paul's private conversation, what I thought was a semi-private conversation, clearly terms of service says it's not. I thought it was kind of a conversation among friends to come in there and put your thumb on the scale and ask that people go to keep their account working, to go to mental internment camps and like learn your version of things with no chance to feedback. It's not a class. It's not a teacher. It's like, I disagree with your viewpoint. What's your critical thinking? Nothing. Just take it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, this is a company that you're supposed to give money to. They're supposed to give you a service. We pay you for a service. Where's your money coming from? It's like, oh, it's coming from the government. It's coming from the CIA. It's coming from this. It's like, why are you allowed to compete with companies that just get money from people if you're a government service?
Right.
Like, why are you destroying the free market in that way so that platforms where people like want to say things on get shut down because they can't compete with your monopoly of what's going on here? Like, is this as if that's not bad for society? What are you talking about? You're talking about as soon as you get to talking to your friends, right? Everything will be great. It's like, are you joking? Like, it's so crazy to me.
It's wild. There is there's a needed separation there. Publisher or editor.
If you're going to edit, you're going to get sued because I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to say, listen, that's not what I said. What you're saying I said, I didn't say. I didn't mean it. It's clear to me. It's clear to everyone I was talking to. Don't know how you got involved. Yeah. How about open your pocketbook and let's start paying until you fix your damn ways? You know, and enough people do that. And then it's like, or be a publisher and you just pass through. And if it's against the First Amendment, let it be known and filed and keep track of or whatever. And you have to actually go to court to do that shit. You shouldn't be able to do it. You shouldn't be able to do it in the court of your own terms of service. You know? Right. They're like creating their own judge and jury and executioner and just the whole thing. It's like, this is not what Americans should be protected from this kind of nation state building as corporation. It's like, we're not your citizens. We're paying you for service. How did you jump this shark?
Yeah.
And you know what it is? It's the 2016 election. That's your Dave Smith on that. But 2016 election, they're like, and it goes back to the Ukraine thing in 2014 when Victoria Nuland the State Department was trying to manipulate the election, and then the freedom of speech got out of hand, and they went back to Russia. And that's when the whole, okay, now we got to weaponize the First Amendment. No one can have it anymore, even though they used it for 30 years before that to like break open all these new markets and stuff. This is all coming from, dude, that Mike Benz JRE. You ever get, like, I was listening to some Mike Benz before, but he practiced for that thing.
He practiced for that thing.
He was just like targeted munition.
You watch his other dude, yeah. He has been practicing for years to deliver something like that on. He called it. He's been calling it the jumbo. He's called it the jumbotron. Like Joe Rogan's is a jumbotron.
That's hilarious. Yeah. He's on the jumbotron, basically giving the receipts on on the reason why this is all. It's really when you really boil it down. It's where the money came from to make all this stuff happen.
I've been watching him like this summer. I think he started popping into my sphere, and this one was watching him like the earliest stuff I saw of him compared to what he's refined over the months to put in just the last hour of that, dude. Like you can just, if you're tight on time, like just decide how much from the end you want to watch. Like
there is something, okay, so to your point, okay, so short form, I really like setting in and being like, I'm going to spend the next 3.5 hours of my media life with this one set of people talking about this one set of ideas. That to me feels like swimming in the ocean of love that we are surrounded by. Like that like does not mess with any of my systems. That makes me feel informed. That makes me feel like everything's good. And then the short form's like, just glitch. It's just like you want. It's like, and then you back up and you go, okay, so in an hour of doing this, what did I get? And it's nothing. It's very little. Like sometimes I go on an engineering deep dive and I'm like, well, if I ever need to tie a knot like that, it's like, holy shit. But then you like find stuff where they're like, well, you take salt water and plugs and you can just make a bat. And it's like, I think this is faked. It's like, it's just like, it's like they like, sometimes there's engineering shit. And it's like, oh, if I'm relating a tile floor, I can do this. Like my ability to remember that shit is super limited. That's why the clip show even came into existence. I was like, what would you do with all this? And I was like, okay, you could gather it and then you've
been watching short form,
show
like,
it.
Fuck, how do I make this valuable? It's sucking so much of my attention.
Well, I think I found stuff that I want to talk about with you, with anyone else who wants to join, maps.decoria.com, and then literally just watch it together. Like, what's it like? Like the short form isolation experience, I know what that's like, but like to actually talk about what you're experiencing and like see it, it's like that's different. I think that's different. It's different in a group, certainly.
Well, it's also different, but it's different to get into that like zone and then you're rolling through it, and you're not gonna get that rolling effect. I don't.
Well, the scroll,
like,
the scroll.
Yeah,
no,
well,
but
not the scroll. Like, being like no one else. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun to experiment with that one.
I think so too.
With this. For sure. I'm not like a huge fan of watching people react to stuff.
Yeah.
But
no. I react to stuff. I think it has.
I think it has.
Reaction is one thing. I think informed conversation would be the goal. It would be what value add rather than just surprise. I guess maybe that's what reaction videos are. Is that what they are?
That's why people watch them, because it's like reality TV.
It's like reality TV. Huh. Well, I got some videos of a bunch of UFOs I got to show you. It's crazy. The last note I have here is just a note that the Grok image generation, which has always been quite liberal and lets you generate like all kinds of crazy stuff, that stuff is open now. So if you're on Grok, you basically have access to a lot more powerful image generation. And I think, dude, every single image you generate is like a little piece of art that never existed before through whatever method you paid for the electricity to like bring it into existence. And it's just like literally everybody, almost everybody, I would guess, could be a door for just whatever they want to see coming into the world. The jump to that from where we've been on a literacy level, I think, because most of our brain is visual process order in nature, like most of your brain, huge percentage of it, 80% plus, is all occupied with turning images into space, like turning the electricity that you see into a world. It's like it's taking the photons and it's like, no, you're in 3D. That's out, that's in, it's up, that's down. It's just like it's making it. Wow, where was I going with that? Oh yeah.
Stoner vision.
That is stoner vision activate. That is that ability to be a printing press that's sending more reflection back out from where it's being absorbed is like it's creative, and it's also creates a kind of shared literacy that we've never had before, like as a people. Like when we could coordinate around language, that increased our ability to do things together. What can you coordinate around when you have like a whole bunch of people that can make anything you want to see happen right now?
But no one can do that. Who does that?
Makes realities come into effect with the AI? A lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
But it still takes a lot of practice to either be able to generate.
Well, then we need to train them.
Well, it's about.
It could be anyone.
You're right. It's about. These are tools. These are channels by which to put things. It's this for. It's this frame. It's the phone. Whatever the.
I think it's the why. Why would you want to do it? Like if you're just thinking out there and you're just, why would I want to sit down and learn how to use an AI tool to make like anything out of my imagination? It's like once you have the tool in place, you are literally looking at your imagination in a new way as a source of inputs. And so when you have a passing fantasy and you swat it aside and you're like, that doesn't matter anymore. Now you could be like, well, which qualities of this might I want to show the world, or whatever. Like you can like actually take a little piece of it and like bring it into the world and be like, there you go. And you can even tell the story behind it.
Show about it. Yeah.
Alex Gray is brilliant at that. He paints these crazy intricate paintings, but the story he tells behind what he does it is the actual art. The painting's just one little angle on it. It's the thing that endures and like starts the story again. But like his stories are like crazy good. But anyway, so it's when he's painting like that, he's communicating using communicational techniques that literally have never existed before, because now he's bringing them into effect with his art, right? He's like painting it into existence, and then but that's a shared communication space where an idea can trade place. And so that's literacy. The ability for multiple people to understand what you mean
so
is
I
literacy.
think so this is probably an element of communication that needs to go into like schools. Like you have to learn how to write.
Or what is it?
You have to learn. You have to learn how to use these new communication tools. It's like you don't like okay. You have to teach the karma system essentially through the medium.
Beautiful.
There.
Well, the karma system is going to tie into the thing we're doing on Thursday night, which is we're deep diving into the Order of the Towel and into social intelligence. And that is about the application of the golden rule and how it creates empathy, and how empathy is like one of the major movers in our society. Like why we can do what we do and create the things we create and the technologies we do and everything is because of our level of intercommunication. No one person can do it. And so when you up the bandwidth between the people, you can do crazier and crazier accomplishments as a species. Like, it's very exciting. It's very exciting to think that could be understood and even enshrined in law. That would be very, very nice if it was, if that publisher editor thing was really made clear, and then people, if the social media companies that exist right now can't handle it, they could go away. And then they could be replaced by ones that really get what the people want and what they're actually trying to build, and not, the government version of that where they're like, well, you can think these thoughts. And it's like, who are you? You're one of us. Why did you appoint yourself to be the thought crop? Why are your thoughts better? Oh, because you got the money? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's not real. Like, where's your humanity that makes you the same as everyone else? Like, why is there not a humility that like other people could see it differently, and that's okay? Not your way or the highway. Like what illness do you have that's why you're coming down?
What are you protecting against?
It's like an ego. You're almost describing an ego, right? Like the corporate ego.
We'll tell you when we see things
psychotic.
We don't like, like who's watching this? Wait till they tell you they don't like it.
Right.
At least.
I think what we're saying is very normal. I think it's like it's certainly the way I was raised. It was like this is the way my teachers raised me, this is the way my parents raised me. It's like this is how my culture raised me. Like, what are we talking about?
Jumping
it's like
up and like yelling. Yeah. Like
there's reason to.
Yeah, no, I know what you're doing, and I'm talking to
the person watching it,
to the bot,
to the bot,
programming the AI that picked us up and assigned us for re-education.
Yeah, totally. We're in the pocket universe, and it's decided we exist in. You've been deep diving on these airline.
No, I just
Malaysian Airlines 370.
I did. Well, I have watched that guy.
Come the orbs. You've been kind of working. You've been following some of the Ashton
YouTube notifications. Yeah.
Ashton Forbes. Yeah, me too. He gets on and he just talks about this for hours and hours and hours. Yeah. There they go. You can see the temperature drop
because of wave.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. He'll be on Rogan at some point, and he'll just over explain this one set of videos. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Boom. Come on now. Oh yeah. Citric session. Here it goes. 3, 2, 1. No, those things they're really pointing at a point. There it goes. Boom. And then you got the infrared version of it. This stuff doesn't get old. And that's a Reaper drone. And there's the airplane. And as you say, that is the smoke from the lithium fire that happened right after takeoff, which drove it off of its normal flight path and out over the ocean, where it wasn't. They didn't think, and there comes the orbs. They're coming from somewhere, and now they're flying in from other places. Here comes number 2, and it's all synchronized. The darker color is because it's colder, and they think it has to do with this vacuum that it's accessing. And then they lead it. The way that the orbs move is they basically create a little funnel that they fall into, and now they're creating a non-ionizing radiation around the thing, non-ionizing radiation, and you can see the fire in the middle of it, the bottom in the hole there from the lithium ion fire. Those people are gonna be freaking out, but then nothing about what they're gonna experience next, which is what?
Which is what?
Are they in heaven now? Like, what's going on? Like, there's like a whole. It's just a big ass question.
On the bottom
Here's Bob
side
Lazar
of the
talking
disk
about
are
it a
the
little
three
bit.
gravity generators. When they want to travel to a distant point, the disk turns on its side. The 3 gravity generators produce a gravitational beam. What they do is they converge the 3 gravity generators onto a point and use that as a focal point.
That's what it was doing with the
Then they
little points.
essentially bring them up to power and pull that point towards the disk. The disk itself will attach onto that point and snap back as they release space back to that point. Now, all this happens in the distortion of time, so time is not incrementing. So the speed is essentially infinite.
And that's Bob Lazar kind of describing the basic science of it. I think that's an Ashton Forbes lift. Ashton Forbes is the
Ashton Forbes just interviewed one of these guys that
we're gonna activate universe mode, and then we gotta switch to gaming.
One of these scientists, he seemed like he had a lot of ego in the little clip I watched.
Ashton?
Ashton.
Totally.
No,
Well,
Ashton definitely.
Ashton's a monster. He's crazy. Yeah. He's fun. He's also just very on the face about everything too. He's just like, I will be the best scientist everyone's ever heard of, and I'm like, you go, Ashton.
Yeah. Ashton, what's his name?
Ashton 4 Orbs or Forbes is his name.
Yeah. This guy. What's his name? Salvatore Pais.
He's the guy who has 3 separate patents that Ashton 4 Orbs was going through over, which had to do with the orbs moving and then teleportation and something else like a suspended cold fusion energy source, which would be at like the heart of the orbs, like to create the plasma field that they are or something like that. What did you learn from that stuff, man?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Nice.
It up early.
I think that's kind of the sideways into geometric unity with Eric Weinstein. He doesn't have sort of a layman's version of it yet. It's all very high level and super math.
Commenting on this just for the views. He's too much of an intellectual.
Well, they always call him on the carpet. Oh, my video's over. They always calling him on the carpet because he doesn't have technology. Yeah. He doesn't have any. I'm sure he'd have a lot of positive things to say about it.
Go get a fucking 3D or fucking 14D animator and go talk to Ashton Forbes and show us what you're talking about.
Exactly. He wants you to pull out your checkbook and write him a check so he can start an institution where he can change physics for all time or something. He's like, he gets very grandiose and like, he's like, my next step is a university or and a complete change of physics. I'm like, incremental, dude. Take a step in the direction. Like,
show.
He's like, it's got to be a whole change. Like,
you're trying to communicate on this about these crazy levels. Get more sophisticated about how you can communicate through these mediums. You're very eloquent with your words, and you can talk. And I remember being like, I can follow a lot of this, but then it's just like I can't keep up with all of the stuff he generates, and that's like, you can start putting visuals to this, just parts of it. Spend more time doing that, and instead of philosophizing.
I know. I want him to succeed. I want him to like bring it home and like tell us what's going on. But mostly we want like a technology. We want to apply this stuff, right? Abstract is fine, But the whole point is you're supposed to send out satellites that actually let you go like do it. This is the Geometric Unity website here. This is geometricunity.org, and there is a download you can do. He talks about the twin nuclei problem, which I think is that's his YouTube channel. And he the portal clips. Okay, portal clips is probably a good one to subscribe to. This is from 3 years ago. God, 3 years ago. Okay. This is his original one that he posted during the pandemic, which was recorded years ago at like Oxford, 2013. You can download the Geometric Unity draft paper. I've done that before and like started in on it. And then there is a I think they're called, oh yeah, here it is. Pull that up, Jamie. This was his joke on Joe Rogan. They called it pull that up, jamie.com, and Jamie got pissed at him. Oh wait, I should make myself, we should go like this. We can maximize, minimize. Pull that up, Jamie. There it goes. Sorry, make it larger. Okay, sorry. And this was the previous website there was, yeah, pull that up, Jamie. This is on geometricunity.org. And then pull that up, Jamie is like the guide to what he's talking about. He is like, he's trying to explain these concepts of curvature of space-time, and he's like, you have to disassemble the thing and put it inside of this other metric format, and you lose some things and you expand the others. This is like the space that his brain's working in, like with this stuff. Yeah. This is his, I mean, it's like, it's wild. It's wild to be along for the ride. I enjoy being along for the ride. Eventually someone makes an interstellar and explains it, how it works to the rest of us, more or less. Yeah, and then so he can take some things in but not others. And anyway, so this was his effort to, with all of the people that were helping him, this is the handedness of the universe, I think, going through something like that. But he had a bunch of people helping him with the animations and helping him with the explaining it, and their entire goal was to go on to Rogan and like lay out how the whole thing worked. It did not happen that well on Rogan. They spooked Rogan somehow, and Rogan was like, what are you even talking about? Like, this is so crazy. Like, you've got to like make this more practical, man. More or less. Like, you gotta bring this to a level where I can share it with my audience, not just do stunts out here in these streets. And then gauge theory is calculus done right. Yeah. So it's really lightweight stuff. Kidding. It's like, it's quite a bit of math, and it's quite a bit of gauge functions. The idea behind the gauge, he calls it a magical circle that exists in all space and time. But like, it's this idea that when electricity is moving or light is moving, it's like there's an electrical potential at every moment in space. And in some moments, some places in space time, there's a high potential. The gauge is high and it's low, but it's the same gauge in there's no division between the gauge where you were measuring it and where you are now. It's just a gradient in a certain way. And so that's at least a big part of what I was pulling out of a lot of his stuff was the way that these sort of functions bundle together, create these shapes, and that you can essentially, in a higher order of math, change the shape of the space time kind of stuff. And then but the point that always gets brought back around with all this stuff is, okay, now do something with it. Like do something with Joe interpretive Feminor spinner dance. Right on. So they're just poking fun. Okay. And these are the people that actually put it together. It's very cool. We love you, Jamie, young Jamie. This page is associated with Jamie. This title is supposed to be a friendly homage to him. You should buy Jamie's shirts. Jamie's shirts. I didn't know Jamie had his own shirt situation. He apparently does. Okay. Dude, we've been rocking it for some time out here in these streets. We're going to play some games?
Yeah.
We're like looking at Devin's package here. What's up, Devitron? What are we doing? That's not the button I was trying to click. We're going to hide the camera. Sorry, Devitron. Seems to not be paying attention. I can't imagine why. It's so interesting.
So...
Dude, shall we launch some
I think we
Battlefront
should.
here? Let's fucking go. I'm just getting wound up. I'm getting wound up here, but we could definitely just make it all happen. All right, here we go.
Well, yeah, we've been going for
some time.
Hour and a half.
Okay, go ahead and change the time.
Yeah, I was just saying, switch over to games.
Switch over to gaming. We're gonna go,
take a break while it's spooling up.
Spooling up. Take a break. I think we're in the same. Universe. Uh-oh. Okay, there it comes. Okay, we're in the same universe. Devitron, I don't think you have the ability to join us. Little quick sound check here. Okay. Dude, I think we're ready to launch this thing. I say we go to break for just a few minutes, and then we come back. What do you say?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, brilliant. Go ahead and turn off your noise cancellation, because you're going to be playing some noise through this situation. And I'm going to play you a new song that my niece and my nephew came up with. And we're gonna play it on here, I think. Add a media source. Select a video. I can't believe this is what's happening. Okay, cool. Come on. This video right here. Oh, they're trying something's beeping here. Why won't this one come in? This one will come in. We can delete this one. Cool. So Wolcott's taking a break. That's awesome. Okay, what were we gonna do? What we're doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna play a new media. Add a new media source. Huh, it won't let me do this one. There must be something wrong with it. Okay. Is there a way I can play it for you anyway? My sweet friends out here in this universe. Woo! So loud, so loud. Dude, we're gonna need to see this thing, or it's gonna need to be a reasonable volume. And let's go. Let's freaking go. Okay, this is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna need to. We're getting the beeps. The beeps. We got too many beeps coming through. What's all the beeps? Here is the. Hold on a second. Oh God. We'll see if this works.
Let me tell you the story of a time when music saved the land. Everyone was very unhappy and no one had a good plan. There once was a seal named Pearl, a sulky indeed. In her watery home she had great need of someone to balance her underwater home, someone who could bring love to her home. And upon the sea a Viking roamed aboard his ship far from home, seeking treasures in the deep, harvesting gems from the ocean's key. Rhythm surrounds us, it's everywhere, guiding our hearts with the melodies that we share. He cast aside the dull, the small, gems unworthy overboard they fall, and from the depths she watches near, the silky drawn by crystals clear. Collecting the gems he left behind, she weaves them into necklaces that shine. As the sun sets, the waves turn pink and blue, a cold storm brews, the winds renew. Her world becomes entombed in ice, she needs his help to make things right. Rhythm surrounds us, it's everywhere, guiding our hearts with the melodies that we share. Breathless in the icy sea, she can't call out, she can't break free. Her jewels illuminate the night, he sees her glow, his heart ignites. Rhythm surrounds us, it's everywhere, guiding our hearts with the melodies that we share. The Viking feels the coldness swell, moved to aid, he casts a spell. He transforms into a walrus strong, with tusks to break the ice by song. They sing together to break break the ice, their voices blend in the darkest night. From their hearts, a sound profound, a warmth, a light, a love they found. Rhythm surrounds us, it's everywhere, guiding our hearts with the melodies that we share. To free the Selkie from her freeze, the song reverberates and melts the seas. Together they retrieve the light, the golden gem to end the night. The Selkie's world begins to glow, the ice recedes, the waters flow. Dancing through time, our spirits soar in this rhythm of love forevermore. Selkies dance beneath the sky, playing freely as time goes by. The Viking stays, his quest complete. In a pink and blue world, their hearts now meet. Together they swim in colors bright, living the days in shared delight. Their voices echo strong and free in the depths of love's great sea.
All right. Now I have to dig. I bet that I don't even sure if we're still online. Did that even go out? Oh no. Oh no. It did it all inside of this little tiny thing. Oh, that's so sad. We're supposed to do it like this. We'll have to figure it out. Yo, yo, yo. Devin's in here.
Yo.
Activate the Devitron. Activate the Devitron. Okay, the Devitron has been activated. And then also minimize. Oh, dude, what is this? Okay, pull it back together. Peter, I'm gonna mute you for a sec. Nice, Dev. All right, Devin, how's it been, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We finished the build. If you go look in the signal, I posted them.
Oh, no way.
Yes, sir. And it fits in my pocket like so well. Like, look, can you even see it in my pocket? Really? Like barely.
Yeah,
You can see an
not
outline
even.
of it.
Not even.
Not really. None of those other ones will even remotely fit in my pocket. So I'm pretty excited to have a concealed carry gun.
Yeah, that is cool. The piece that you have that's all rainbonified, it's like a burnished titanium.
Yeah, or something like electrified or what's it called? Galvanized.
Peter's waving his hands. He's unmuted. Sorry.
Damn, dude.
Sorry. Good. Please. Get in on this.
No, I was really giving it. Oh my god. What was I saying? Jesus Christ.
Oh geez, no, I'm so sorry. I drove you crazy.
I was giving it to Devin. Oh no, because he was printing like a motherfucker, dude. I would have seen that shit immediately. Yeah, no, I would.
Printing? What do you mean printing?
He was
Can you see it through my clothes?
He was like, can you see it? Can you see it in my pocket? Yeah, dude. Are you happy to see me, dude?
It ain't no deagle. Maybe if I had a deagle, it would look like I'm excited.
Dude, that's crazy. That song we were listening to, Selkies in Paradise, that came from my niece and my nephew. They did a bunch of art, and we took their art and put it into AI as the input images. We took pictures. My sister took pictures of it. And then we had the AI reconstruct stuff based on what they did. So my nephew was trying to make like a volcano that had like gummy bears spewing out of it. And so he made like a version of that was like abstract. And we gave that to the AI and said, now make it a volcano with gummy bears coming out of it. It was like, you mean like this? It was like, I'll show you exactly what that looks like.
Oh, nice. We're up.
Okay.
Wait, my stupid sound card already cut out.
Already cut out? It's been torturing it. It's that thing overheats. They don't make a better one. That's like their best approach right there. Because we tried the other one and it was way too complicated.
There's got to be
Elgato.
Elgato. Is there any other company that makes?
It's a great question.
To get like a bigger.
We should ask
device?
ChatGPT.
We should ask ChatGPT. More fucking
We need it to work.
We need better hardware.
Be effective.
It's not
effective.
much to ask. Like
Well, you guys live in the Soviet state. You guys live in the Soviet state of craziness.
We do.
Well, you guys get like they don't give you equipment in there inside the garden. I've noted.
We can't get Elgatos here or other.
They're supposed to be Mac compatible, but like, is that real? Like, I don't know. It might be a Mac thing. Like, there might be a Mac cap card that, like, you know what? It's called Black Magic, and it's got a terrible name. So they're trying to sell it in certain zip codes. You're never gonna sell that. But what it is it's the cap card du jour for a Macintosh, and it's the next level. It's like it'll get it done. We should look into that because quite frankly, that's something you can plug into like a camera or to if you did any like next level not live streaming. What am I trying to say? If you ever wanted to hook up like just like a regular camera, something that has like real glass in it.
Yeah.
That's how you pull it in.
Pull that high
Black
quality
magic
footage in.
Yeah. I just killed Princess Leia. If you got me in a time machine and was like, hey, little Paul, I know you're 8 years old and you just love the Rebel Alliance. Did you know one day you're gonna really enjoy shooting all the good guys? And they're just like, you can't shoot the good guys. That's not real. Well, like, don't even. You're from the wrong universe. My parents told me not to talk to people like you. It's like completely non-starter. Now it's like, oh sure.
Sure. Do it every Tuesday.
Yeah, just tear up this IP. Like, come on. It's crazy. It's crazy when you animate it like this. Think about the number of, I mean, even if you want to, think about the number of hours we've spent in this world.
You're
gonna put me through that, yo? You're gonna put me through that truth? Don't put me through that truth, Ricky Bobby. Don't put me through that truth.
Trying to go fast.
We're just going fast. I figured out how to create I 70% of the way figured out how to create a live timer using a little Python script, so that the key to watching movies together online has to do with timing the movie. So you're on Amazon Prime or whatever, and you're watching some movie with other people. What you need is a number on the screen that tells them what their number should be at the same time. And so you you run the number, and you have to have a system that allows you to sort of like start a new number when you need to and like update the number effectively. You got to like dial that in a certain way. And then so then what I have noted is that people get away with doing like a pixelated version. So for synchronization purposes, you can have like a really highly pixelated purpose, and that can kind of tell you the difference between light and dark when you're going on your video. Like when it changes scenes or whatever, you can see that as like a snap in the video, which is also a nice technique it's not meant to reproduce the original artwork. It's meant to direct you to it so you can participate in it through a legal method. That's its entire purpose. And and so anyway, it's very interesting. I was trying this out on a couple of streamers on Rumble, and because that's kind of where they were getting away with it. And yeah, there's different techniques. It is incredibly boring to watch people watch media. That's very, very boring. But it is very interesting to have people talk about media. But the problem is you can't consume it for the first time while they're talking about it, because you're consuming what they reacted to it as,
Say that again. So
you can't, if someone hasn't seen the video
first time.
If you watch let's say there's a 10-minute video that someone hasn't seen that you're going to say, the right and proper thing to do would be for them to pause the video, go watch it, and then come back and hear your reaction to it. Because even if you're playing back the video even a little bit, like analyzing sections of it or what like that, you are talking over it. And so the original experience that someone has between, like if you watch a movie on your own and you're just watching the movie, you're sort of, that's one way you took it in.
Someone's writing over it. Yeah.
That isn't taking it in, because you're gonna miss key elements of it. You might like learn enough about it to understand that you like it. Yeah. It's not very interesting to watch people watch stuff, is what I was trying to get to with that.
Yeah, I hate when people are playing something and they pause it every 30 seconds to yap. like, just play the whole video, please.
Okay, so is that in that model? That's why a short form garbage disposal model works, because you can play the entire short form content in a few seconds, and that's why you can sort of do it, because the audience can take it in, and it's not context dependent because it's so brief, and they have the experience, and then people talking about it, reacting to it, or thinking about it. I guess reacting is a new word in my lexicon for this. I hadn't thought about it like that, but that is what it is, isn't it? I'm with you in like one Sir Walcott.
Reaction.
It is a reaction. I don't think of it so much as a reaction as a deepening of the concepts explored. Is there a word for that? You're Socratic circling that media is what you're doing. But what is it? What is that? What is that fast word for it?
You are reacting to it, but what is the going on that? Yeah, that.
I sometimes watch people react to
people's. It's like what I said earlier. It's like a form of live TV kind of.
Yeah, it's a form of live TV. There's a shared morphogenic field experience that you have when you're consuming media with others, because consuming media is extremely powerful, and it has the ability to synchronize you with other people, like in the moment. Like if you're on the same wavelength about the same thing at the same time.
Same thing, same time.
It's a fragile state though, because like in the movie theater, someone's phone ringing or whatever can take you out of the moment where you're not engaged, like
definitely.
You're not looping with the entertainment you're experiencing. Looping, like you're applying some you're there with
that
people.
Was a word I made up to describe the feeling when I was taking magical mushrooms. Looping.
Tell me more.
Whenever I take the magical mushrooms,
yes,
everything just seems very circular to me for some reason.
Circular,
yeah,
like your eye.
Like everything's connected.
Like the very photons that make our universe. Please continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I knew everything. Felt like yeah, it was pretty weird. I just felt like I just had all the answers to like every major question in like life that no one knows. I was like, oh.
Were you posing questions to yourself and then knowing the answer and experiencing the state of being on the other side of the answer?
Yeah, it was crazy.
You probably were then. I mean, if you hallucinate you're doing that, then you probably are doing that. Well, I wouldn't call it a hallucination,
It's the thought pattern is making a loop.
There's all kinds of ways to experience truth. There really is. Yeah. It's not bullshit. There is an actual.
Right. Well, you have to find truth, so it's you realizing and experiencing.
The lens I was thinking of. The lens you look at the world through tells you a lot about what you can see. Mm-hmm. And I think that psychedelics allow you to bend the lens you're looking at. Open it, bend it, telescope it. A lot of people call LSD like a telescope for the mind, or a mic, but it allows your mind to extend into distant places that it wouldn't normally be extending into.
Yeah, I've never experimented with LSD.
Both LSD and mushrooms will affect the HT2A receptor in the brain. LSD is a chemical, and it's sometimes a single chemical, where a mushroom is a medley of things. When there was the psychedelic cup a couple weeks ago here, the entourage effect. The psychedelic cup, they had a company that was doing the essays for all of the entries in the psychedelic mushroom competition, because it's legal to give people mushrooms. You can hand them to people, and in Colorado, you can't charge for them, but you can give them to them, and that's all legal now.
No way. That's insane.
Yeah, man, it's been that way for like 2 years. But
there you go. Good.
That's dope.
And that's dope. Okay, so when they did the essays on these mushrooms, my man, here's what I'm saying. These little mushrooms had harmine in them. That's an MAO inhibitor. That's half the recipe for ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is an MAO inhibitor, and then the DMT, the chacruna, the DMT containing plant. These mushrooms had 5-MeO DMT, 5-NN DMT. They had a lot of things in them, and they had the chemistry to make it orally active. They had the harmine in there too.
Those are powerful mushrooms.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, not only they've been breeding these things, but like they are now just learning that these are what make these mushrooms really nice, is these ability to sustain these dream states, I guess is the way you'd say it, because of the harmine in it. And it's like the mushrooms bringing you a multi-pack. And it's using dose? It really depends on the combination, because I met a guy named Isaac who makes these things called yak snacks, and they are gummiatized psilocybin, and he has figured out he's figured out a way to make 0.25 grams hit like 2.5 grams. Like 2.5 grams, 2.5 dry grams is kind of where I would put like a high end dose. Like
I've
after
never
that, you're
taken
getting
that
into messianic states.
What is messianic? Like not functioning?
Messianic. No, it means of the Christ. God, Messiah means God amongst us, I believe.
That's too much.
Some people,
I don't think I've ever done more than 1.5.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That's a nice area to park in.
Call it like ego death. You lose.
God, no, I'm good.
Sustained ego death. Yeah.
That you've picked up a loop in your thinking. Now you're like lassoing truth and enjoying that.
My tolerance isn't high enough for that.
That's a great description. That's a crazy description.
Abby and I did like 1 gram together in Dallas, and we were just like, I like couldn't look at her at portions of the trip because like it was freaking me out just staring at her. I was like, I can't look at you. Please don't look at me.
Set and setting, kids. Set and setting. You got to really think about where you're going to be when you have this connected experience to all things. If you're like in a parking lot somewhere, like trying to fill up gas, you're going to feel weird. Like you need to be like in the holiest place you can make. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I have been enjoying legal mescaline here in Colorado.
Wow.
And it is when the world discovers what mescaline is, especially in the San Pedro or the Wachuma cactus, they are going to really, it's going to open some doors for people, because it is a 16-hour experience that lends 16 hours, kids, and it lends itself to introspection and spiritual exploration, for lack of a better word, journeying, as I would call it. Like it just the ability to leave your body and be aware that like, here I am, but look, my body's down there on the planet Earth, and here I am in the cosmos. Whatever that sustained conscious separation, like a living dream kind of thing, out of body experience, whatever, astral projection, whatever you want to call that.
Wow.
That mescaline puts you in that state naturally. So of course there's been all kinds of wild cultures that have grown out of it. And it's a special one. But what I was saying is that LSD and mushrooms both hit the HT2A receptor site in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
That is, so they mediate the same system. But your mushrooms, because of that entourage effect, you're getting the better deal in a lot of cases, in my view, because you're getting this combo effect. But the thing about Isaac with Yakfish is his combo is what enables it. He has 2 different species of mushrooms that he blends together for different reasons, and that makes it your experience of it is at a much higher level. And so anyway, he's standardized his gummies, and that ability, that's the opening to a medical use, because standardization means perfect dosage. Perfect dosage means you can create your setting appropriately for what you're experiencing.
You can fine tune your trip a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. You can like the results that you're going to get from this can be correctly calibrated. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Years ago when I'd grow my own, one time I took a very heavy trip. I took about 9 dried grams, and I watched the universe end. And I mean that like I watched it end. I watched all time and space and matter and energy spool out to its infinite end.
Nothingness.
And it was like a sustained dun dun. And I listened to the sound of that infinite piano die down in time and space. And then you would imagine my surprise when I woke up many hours later and the world was still intact. I was like, oh, I can start this all over. I can fix all this. I can,
the realization you must have had.
I'm free. I can, like, I'm not dead. I really experienced the end of it. Like I was one with the end of it. And it was like, that was a hard one. It took me 20 years to really put that back together. Honestly.
Really? Holy.
So correct dosage in mushroom land is hyper encouraged. Like, and that's why you want a white market, and that's why you want a legal market, and that's why you want lab testing, and you want good controls, and you want ethics and manufacturing, and you want a lot of stuff made in America.
There's a lot of kids that I know that experience with shrooms are retarded, and they're just like, yeah, let's do as much as we can. First time
so they're looking for an initiatory rite of passage experience a la drugs. This is what Dune gives you. Dune is the description of doing drugs to the point of death and then coming out on the other side. That's the rite of passage it describes. It is a natural thing in primates to seek this. Like, I don't know. Dude, did we just victorize those people? We just victorized those people.
They couldn't even come out the tunnel. They were getting
We
massacred.
invoked victory upon them. Is it time to Fortnite? We are getting so late in the tooth, long in the tooth. It might be time to just shut it down.
OG time. Have y'all played the new OG mode?
In Fortnite?
I've still not done downloading.
Downloading?
Dude.
Fortnite.
Oh
OG.
no! You got 16 minutes remaining. Okay, so it's at least one more. At least one more then.
Dude, it has to copy. No, I'm
You might want to bail.
I'm ready to bail. Yeah.
You make sense to me. We've pushed this.
Hey,
We've pushed this on
we still
as
good
fast
for
as
Tamur,
far as
Peter?
possible.
Huh?
Are we still good for Tamur?
Oh yeah.
Look at the sweater I got.
We sometimes miss our chats. Oh, son of a
Hell yeah.
nutcracker. That's great. We got ads.
ready.
There's just people. There's people in our chats that want to add us up. That's from Elf. That is a great one to watch. That one is on Max right now. That's a very sweet movie. Elf.
I love Elf.
Yeah. You guys seen it lately?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about a bad father leaving his kid and basically in the North Pole. Spoiler alert. But you know,
If you
tis the
haven't
season to
somehow
heal.
seen the movie,
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, we got to get going here, but just to kind of put a pin in this, what's your favorite? Never mind. This is like so personal. There's a couple movies about losing your dad and what it's like. You ever seen Ad Astra with Brad Pitt? That is a dad loss movie. That's a good one.
I have
It's
not.
like so abstract. You don't.
No.
Unless you really lost your dad, dude. If you did lose your dad or whatever, you would totally relate.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very
I lost
strong.
him at birth.
No, no. You'd
Dude, I
love
don't
Ad
know my
Astra.
dad. I
You'd
do
love
not
it.
know that
Ad-
guy.
You would love Ad Astra. That movie is fucking good. It's good. Like it describes emotionally what that is. Elf is the similar one. It's just a funny holiday version. Oh, dude. Hey guys, have a fantastic time.
Hey, y'all.
We're rolling up here
Oh.
in these holidays. Are we still meeting next week? Are we doing it? I think we're still doing it. We're meeting this Thursday in Talonit on the 12th and the 19th. We're gonna try to sneak in a 17th situation here
17.
I'm
Oh
down.
yeah.
next Tuesday.
Next
Sneak it
Tues-
in.
Next Tuesday or next Thursday?
Tuesday
to the
and
Talon.
Thursday because we got Order of the Talon Thursday. We're like booked up in this
Yeah,
joint.
We have Thursday. We have Tuesdays and Thursdays the
Book
next
the
2
fuck
weeks.
up.
Yes.
Okay
For
then.
2 hours.
Bang,
Each.
bang, bang.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's great to see you guys. Blessings. Devin, keep you in my prayers for awesomeness in your transitions, etc. Everyone out
Thank
there
you.
who's watching, thanks for watching. We love you, and have a fantastic evening. We will now activate the music, which I should have been queuing up for like literally minutes leading up to this moment. But let's go.
Good evening and good night.
Good evening and good night.
To the land of the mini colors.
Let's end with some Jesus art. I've had some Jesus art that I've been holding back on. I'm just gonna drop in here.
Some
I know.
psychedelic innovation therapy.
Psychedelic Jesus art. Come on, I got some stuff in here.
High as Jesus on the space shuttle.
High Ping Warrior.
High as Jesus.
Peace out, my dudes.
Peace out. Peace out. See you later, gentlemen.
Adios.
Adios. Or is it just the start of the after party? The crazy Jesus after party.
Read him the BSSLA.
Read the BSSLA, man. It's the Jesus. Welcome to the Jesus after party. Let's get real.
Getting blazed all day long, just getting blazed. It was dope as fuck. High as Jesus on the space shuttle. High as Jesus on the space shuttle. High as Jesus on the space shuttle.